Most people think the Bible avoids talking about money, but the truth is far more uncomfortable. Scripture doesn't ignore wealth. It exposes why so many people never experience it. While the world teaches you to chase money harder, the Bible quietly teaches you to fix something deeper first. That's why some people work nonstop and still struggle, while others seem to attract opportunities naturally. The difference isn't hustle, it's order. Here's the counterintuitive truth most never hear. The Bible never tells you to pursue money directly. It teaches a framework where money becomes the outcome, not the objective. When life, character, and priorities fall into alignment, money follows like a shadow. Ignore that order and no strategy, business idea, or investment will ever be enough. This is why so many smart, driven people feel financially exhausted. What makes this framework powerful is that it works across generations, economies, and systems. It worked long before banks, stocks, or digital business models existed, and it still works today. This isn't about religion, it's about structure. When you understand how the Bible organizes work, stewardship, time, and purpose, you stop reacting to money and start directing it. That shift changes everything. If you like our content, consider supporting our ministry through the link in the description. In this video, you're going to uncover the hidden biblical framework that quietly governs money, business, and real wealth. Not theory, not hype, but principles that create stability, freedom, and legacy, no matter what the economy does next. Money is a consequence, not the goal. Most people believe money is the destination, but Scripture quietly teaches the opposite. In the biblical framework, money is never the prize, it's the receipt. When order, wisdom, and stewardship are aligned, money shows up as a consequence, not a chase. That's why so many people work harder every year yet feel stuck. They're pursuing the score instead of fixing the game. The Bible never commands people to make money first. It commands them to live wisely. Jesus reinforces this principle in Matthew 6:33, when he says to seek first the kingdom, and everything else will be added. That verse isn't spiritual poetry, it's a financial law. Order precedes provision. When character, discipline, and obedience come first, money follows naturally. In business, this looks like building value before demanding profit. In life, it looks like aligning decisions before expecting results. Biblical wealth always starts internally before it manifests externally. Proverbs 4:23 warns to guard the heart because everything flows from it, including financial outcomes. If the inner life is chaotic, the money life will be chaotic too. Many people want to make money, but few want to master themselves. The Bible makes it clear. Self-governance always comes before financial governance. That's where most people quietly lose the game. In practical terms, this means focusing less on quick wins and more on systems. Instead of asking, how can I make money fast? The wiser question is, what order am I missing? That could mean organizing finances, tracking expenses, or learning a real business skill like sales, investing, or asset management. Reading books like The Richest Man in Babylon or The Psychology of Money helps build that internal framework. Knowledge compounds long before money does. The Apostle Paul echoes this in 1 Timothy 6:6, when he says godliness with contentment is great gain. He doesn't condemn money, he condemns disorder. When people obsess over money itself, they lose clarity. But when they pursue wisdom, discipline, and purpose, money becomes a tool instead of a trap. That's why truly wealthy people rarely talk about money. They talk about systems, habits, and values. This is where most people feel uncomfortable, because it means responsibility comes before reward. The Bible flips the modern hustle narrative on its head. You don't fix money problems with more money, you fix them with more order. And once this internal shift happens, the next question naturally arises. What specific forms of disorder silently drain wealth before it ever has a chance to grow? The hidden cost of disorder. Debt, impulses, and slavery. Debt is rarely a money problem. It's an order problem wearing a financial costume. The Bible speaks plainly in Proverbs 22:7. The borrower becomes servant to the lender. That's not poetry. It's structure. When impulses lead decisions, money quietly leaks away before it ever compounds. Many people think they're building wealth while carrying chains they can't see. Disorder always charges interest. Modern culture normalizes bad debt as a lifestyle upgrade, but Scripture treats it as a warning sign. Buying liabilities on credit feels harmless until time exposes the cost. Credit cards, car payments, and lifestyle inflation don't just drain money, they drain focus and freedom. In business terms, it's like running a company with negative cash flow and calling it growth. You can't make money consistently while feeding systems designed to extract it. Biblical wisdom prioritizes restraint, before expansion. Romans 13:8 urges believers to owe no one anything except love, a principle of clean structure. Practically, this means eliminating high-interest debt first, especially anything above a reasonable return threshold. If a card charges 20% and your investments return 8%, the math isn't sophisticated, it's destructive. No strategy outperforms bad interest. Impulse spending is another quiet thief. Proverbs 21:20 reminds us that the wise store up choice food and oil, while fools devour all they have. That verse applies directly to modern consumption habits. Subscriptions, upgrades, and status purchases slowly suffocate future options. People don't feel the pain immediately, which is why disorder survives so long. The cost shows up years later. To restore order, practical steps matter. Track expenses weekly, freeze unnecessary subscriptions, and redirect payments toward eliminating toxic debt. Build a simple, zero-based budget so every dollar has an assignment. Books like Total Money Makeover help reset behavior, while The Richest Man in Babylon reinforces timeless principles. Discipline may feel restrictive at first, but it creates breathing room fast. Once debt loses its grip, something powerful happens. Options return. Freedom creates space for opportunity, investment, and peace. Money stops feeling like a constant emergency and starts behaving like a tool. But eliminating disorder is only the beginning. The next question becomes unavoidable. After clearing the leaks, what engine actually multiplies money while you sleep? Cash flow, stewardship, and making money while you sleep. The Bible never celebrates idle money, it celebrates productive stewardship. In the parable of the talents, Jesus praises the servants who multiplied what was entrusted to them. The lesson is clear. Money is meant to move, grow, and serve a purpose. Cash flow is the modern expression of that ancient principle. It's not about speculation, but about consistent, repeatable income. In practical business terms, cash flow means owning assets that produce income, whether you're present or not. Rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, businesses, and royalties all fit this model. Proverbs 13:22 teaches that a good person leaves an inheritance, which implies surplus. You can't leave what you don't generate. Making money while you sleep isn't greed, it's preparation. Many people confuse appreciation with wealth, but Scripture emphasizes fruit, not price. An asset that rises in value but produces no income creates anxiety, not peace. Ecclesiastes 11:2 encourages diversification, not gambling on a single outcome. Cash-flowing assets protect you during downturns, when emotions run high and markets shake out the impatient. Stability always beats hype. A simple example makes this real. Someone who owns a small rental producing $500 a month in net cash flow has created a quiet employee that works year-round. The same applies to dividend ETFs like VTI or SCHD, or even a small online business selling digital products. These streams may start small, but they compound over time. Stewardship rewards consistency. The key is control. Cash flow puts the owner in the driver's seat instead of the passenger's seat. When income arrives predictably, decisions become strategic instead of emotional. Proverbs 27:23 advises knowing the condition of your flocks. Today that means tracking returns, expenses, and margins. Clarity creates confidence, and confidence reduces costly mistakes. Once cash flow is established, fear loses much of its power. Bills get paid regardless of market noise, and opportunities become visible when others panic. But this raises a deeper issue that separates builders from bystanders. If cash flow is the engine, what mindset allows some people to act wisely during chaos while others freeze or flee? Mindset, fear, and cycles. Seeing what others don't see. Markets move in cycles, but most people react as if chaos is permanent. Scripture quietly prepares the wise for this reality. Ecclesiastes 3 reminds us that there is a time for everything, planting and harvesting included. Fear enters when people forget cycles exist. When headlines scream panic, disciplined minds start scanning for opportunity. This is where mindset separates survivors from builders. Fear doesn't disappear with courage, it fades with understanding. Proverbs 1:5 says, "The wise grow in learning and increase in counsel." In money and business, education lowers emotional reactions. Investors who understand cycles don't chase tops or flee bottoms. They move with structure, not adrenaline. Most losses happen not from bad assets, but from emotional timing. Biblical wisdom consistently rewards patience. James 1:5 encourages asking God for wisdom, not certainty. Markets never offer certainty, only probability. Those who expect perfect clarity wait forever. During downturns, fear pushes people to sell assets at discounts. Meanwhile, disciplined builders quietly accumulate value. History rewards those who act when others hesitate. A practical example shows this clearly. During market corrections, quality assets often go on sale. Long-term investors look at fundamentals, not noise. Buying broad ETFs, strong companies, or undervalued cash flow assets during uncertainty has built fortunes repeatedly. The same pattern appears in business when competitors retreat and demand remains. Cycles don't destroy wealth, reactions do. The Bible never condemns planning, it condemns panic. Proverbs 21:5 teaches that diligent planning leads to abundance. Diligence means studying trends, understanding debt cycles, interest rates, and consumer behavior. Those who do this aren't guessing, they're positioning. When fear dominates headlines, wisdom whispers strategy. This mindset shift changes everything. Instead of asking, "What if I lose?" the disciplined thinker asks, "What is this season preparing me for?" Once fear is reframed, clarity emerges, and clarity leads naturally to action. But even the sharpest mindset needs a foundation. The next question becomes unavoidable. What kind of work and value actually turn wisdom into sustainable wealth? Work, skill, and value creation. How wealth is actually built. The Bible never separates wealth from work. It separates wealth from vanity. Proverbs 14:23 says that all hard work brings profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. In the biblical framework, money flows toward value creation, not intention. Business rewards those who solve real problems consistently. Skill is simply stored value waiting to be exchanged. That's how people truly make money. Modern culture glorifies shortcuts, but Scripture honors craftsmanship. Proverbs 22:29 highlights the person skilled in their work standing before kings. Skill creates leverage because it makes results predictable. Whether it's sales, investing analysis, negotiation, coding, or content creation, mastery compounds. A person with rare skills never chases opportunity, opportunity finds them. That's biblical economics in action. From a practical perspective, the fastest way to increase income is not speculation, but skill stacking. Learning high-income skills like sales, marketing, financial analysis, or asset management multiplies earning power. Books like Deep Work and So Good. They Can't Ignore You reinforce this principle. In business, income follows usefulness. The more people you help profitably, the more money flows back. Jesus modeled this through parables of stewardship, not luck. He consistently tied reward to faithfulness in small things. Luke 16:10 makes this explicit. Whoever is faithful with little will be faithful with much. Wealth is entrusted incrementally, not dumped randomly. When people bypass the discipline of skill, they bypass long-term stability. Value creation also changes how time is perceived. Instead of trading hours for dollars endlessly, skills allow leverage. One well-built system, product, or asset can serve thousands. This applies to investments, scalable businesses, or digital assets. Work becomes strategic, not exhausting. That's when business stops consuming life and starts supporting it. This is where many people pause and realize something deeper. Wealth built on skill feels different than money built on hustle alone. It brings confidence, peace, and optionality. But even skill and income can collapse if the foundation is misaligned, which leads to the final and most sobering question: what happens when money grows but life, family, and legacy are out of order? Time, family, and legacy. Building wealth that outlives you. The Bible is clear that wealth without order eventually collapses. Psalm 127 reminds us that unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Money can grow fast, but time never slows down. Many succeed financially and fail relationally because they confuse provision with presence. In the biblical framework, legacy is measured in people, not accounts. Wealth is meant to support life, not replace it. Scripture consistently connects stewardship with responsibility beyond the self. Proverbs 13:22 speaks of leaving an inheritance to children's children, which implies foresight and restraint. That inheritance isn't only financial, it's spiritual, relational, and ethical. Business success that costs family connection creates generational gaps, not generational blessing. Time is the currency children value most, whether parents realize it or not. From a practical standpoint, this requires intentional boundaries. Building money and business systems that don't demand constant presence is wisdom, not laziness. Delegation, automation, and asset-based income, free time for relationships. Ecclesiastes 4:6 teaches that better is a handful of quietness than 2 hands full of toil and striving. Margin protects what money alone cannot repair. Jesus never praised busyness. He praised faithfulness. He withdrew regularly, even with important work unfinished. That example matters deeply for modern entrepreneurs. Working endlessly in the name of provision often hides ego more than sacrifice. Children don't remember how hard someone worked. They remember whether they were available. That truth humbles even the most disciplined builder. Legacy thinking also reframes decision-making. Instead of asking, "How much can I make this year?" the wiser question becomes, "What am I modeling for the next generation?" Teaching financial wisdom, discipline, and faith multiplies impact beyond a lifetime. Deuteronomy 6 emphasizes passing principles daily, not occasionally. Wealth without wisdom doesn't transfer well. When time, family, and purpose are aligned, money takes its proper place. It becomes a servant, not a master. Life gains coherence, and business becomes a platform instead of a prison. This is the quiet outcome Scripture points toward again and again. Order first, provision second, legacy last. And everything finally makes sense. Everything you've heard here points to one uncomfortable truth. Money doesn't respond to desire. It responds to order. When you align your life, your priorities, and your stewardship, money starts behaving differently. Business stops feeling like a grind and becomes a vehicle. Fear loses its voice because systems replace emotion. And instead of reacting to every headline, you begin acting with clarity and confidence. The real question now isn't what the market will do next. It's what you will do with what you've learned. What habits need to change? What form of disorder needs to be confronted? What asset, skill, or system could you start building this year instead of waiting for perfect conditions? Wisdom only compounds when it's applied. This framework works, but only for those willing to live it. The Bible never promises ease, it promises fruit to those who remain faithful and disciplined. When money becomes a tool instead of a target, life gains margin, peace, and direction. And that's when real wealth begins to form, quietly and consistently. Write in the comments, "Money follows order in my life and business." And watch how this powerful declaration begins to shift the course of your business and your finances from this day forward. If this message challenged you, encouraged you, or shifted your perspective in any way, consider supporting our ministry through the link in the description. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you can continue learning how biblical wisdom applies to money, business, and make money in the real world.